lecture on physics in petroleum engineering brought to you by Petroleum from Scratch. This is the second part of series application of pulley system in oil and gas industry. In the previous lecture we discussed about how to draw free body diagram and calculate various tensions. So today we will discuss the use of our previous learning in hoisting system to calculate free line load, deadline load and static direct loading. But before moving to that, let's discuss the question we left in our previous discussion. So the question was, what will be the velocity of this pulley be if we are pulling this rope by a velocity v1? Okay, so let us see here. We have pulled this rope by a length L. So this part will come here and this part will come here. If you see it properly, then this length L that it has traveled will be distributed L by 2 and L by 2 across the pulley. So if you can imagine it, the pulley will go up by a length L by 2. So if the velocity of the rope is here is V1, then the velocity of the pulley will be V1 by 2. Okay, you can also solve this in this manner. Suppose that the power delivered at this point of the rope is P, which will be equal to T1 into V1, where T1 is the tension in this rope and V1 velocity of this rope. Now, as the same power is delivered to pull this block up, so the same P will be equal to T2 into V2, where T2 is the tension here and V2 will be its velocity. As we have solved it earlier that and we know that T2 is equal to 2T1. So when we will solve that, our V2 will come V1 by 2. Okay guys, remember this method as it will be very useful while calculating the velocity of traveling block when the velocity of fast line is given or vice versa. Now moving to the hoisting system. Here are some basics about parts of hoisting system. In detail, it will be discussed in drilling lectures. Okay, so you can see here the first part of our hoisting system is the drawwork. It's a drum-like structure like this. This is like the heart of the hoisting system, as it is the part which is responsible for the upward and the downward movement of the drill pipe. Okay, so the second part is crown block. This is a stationary block present at the top of the derrick. It provides a mean of taking wire from hoisting drum to traveling block. Okay, it is a system of pulleys. Now the next part is traveling block. It is similar to the crown block because it is also a system of pulleys, but as the name suggests, it is the moving block and it is responsible for movement of drill pipe upward and downward. Okay, and the next part is the hook. As you can see here, this is the hook, this is the traveling load. Okay guys, here remember one thing, that the number of pulleys in traveling block is always less than the crown block. As we can see in this picture, this is very basic diagram of hoisting system. The line the line which is coming from the hoisting drum to the crown block is the fast line. This line is the fast line, as this line is the moving one, which is moving while pulling up or letting drill pipe down. The movement of traveling block is controlled by this fast line only. Now this static line is known as dead line, and it is connected to the dead line anchor. So you can see here that the crown block is the one where the fast line is going, and the crown block is the only one where the dead line is connected to the dead line anchor. So crown block will always have more number of sheaves than that of traveling block. Now guys, fast line load is the load carried by the fast line, and dead line load is the load carried by the dead line, and the hook load is the total load carried by the traveling block including weight of block itself. Okay, so we will calculate here the loads by drawing free body diagram of traveling block. As you can see it here, this is our traveling block. Let T be the tension in the line. So here 2T acting upward will be equal to the hook load W. Hook load W. So from here we will get the value of tension in our lines as W by 2, that is hook load by 2. As we are not considering any friction, so the first line load and dead line load will also be W by 2 and W by 2 respectively. Now moving on to static direct loading. Static direct loading is nothing but the total load that the derrick or the mast is supporting. So it will be equal to the first line load plus hook load plus dead line load. As you can see it from this figure that the derrick will be supporting this hook load as well as first line load and dead line load. So in this case the static direct loading will be equal to W by 2 plus W by 2 plus W by 2, W by 2 plus W by 2, which will be equal to 2W. Now what will happen if crown block have more sheaves than 2? So let's see here. Here it is a diagram. We have considered that N lines are strung between the traveling block and the crown block, meaning that crown block will have N by 2 plus 1 sheaves. As N lines are strung, then traveling block will have N by 2 sheaves, and crown block having one more sheaves make it N by 2 plus 1. So FBD of the traveling block will look like this with N lines strung, and these N lines are supporting hook load W. So the tension in each line will become W by N. So the value of free line load and dead line load also become W by N and W by N. So the static direct loading will is given by W by N plus W by N plus hook load, that is equal to W. So here this equation will become for the static loading N by N plus 2 by N into hook load. So okay, as discussed earlier, we can also find the relationship between the velocity of fast line and traveling block, as the velocity of fast line will be equal to N times the velocity of traveling block. So here's an example consisting of four lines strung between the traveling and the crown block. Here hook load is distributed in these 4 lines. So fast line load will be equal to hook load by 4 and dead line load will also equal to hook load by 4. So the static direct loading will be equal to W by 4 plus W by 4 plus W, that will be equal to 3 by 2 W. And if you will put the value of N equal to 4 in this formula, then that will also become equal to 3 by 2 W. So you can solve this kind of problem in any way, whether putting directly into this formula or by making free body diagram. Okay, this all we have discussed now is the static condition when there is no frictions, no friction. Now what will happen in dynamic condition when friction comes into play? We will discuss this next time. So okay, thank you guys. Until next time, thank you.